Alright my friends, we're back here at VetteSource tonight in the garage where we are tinkering with our long-term storage channel avatar, the 67 Corvette 427 that I have affectionately nicknamed Thor, just because he does sound like the god of thunder when I fire it up. But in that vein, it has been several years since I've had time to fire this bad boy up, so it's been hibernating in the garage, and I'm kind of working my way towards getting this thing back out there on the road again to see the daylight, as you will, because it is time. But thought what I would do is one of the first steps, of course, you've seen me, you've watched me before, you know this car if you're familiar with my channel, and if you're familiar with my method of trying to bring things out or illustrate how we bring things back out of hibernation. So one of the first things I'm going to do here with this car is go ahead, even though I know it's been protected in my garage, that's well insulated, very high and dry, and not prone to weather or bad situations or poor storage, is make sure that I have no problems with the engine. And one of those ways we can do that before we go ahead and just crack into it or try to rotate it is to visually inspect it. Now, I've been doing this for many years, and of course back in the day where some of the tools were more expensive than others, borescopes were not a common thing to see in the automotive industry. They were more of a aviation type thing that we use, especially considering even the Army aviation rotary wings and helicopters. We use those a lot for inspections on our gas turbine engines, transmissions, stuff like that. But with the advent of the smartphones, 10-15 years ago, the borescoping technology got much better and simpler and more affordable. So what happened here is I was the good folks over at Kaiweets, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but I think this is Kaiweets. They make a budget line of tools, entry level, and they offered me a chance to take a look at their borescope that they have out. They also, believe, make multimeters and some other tools that are pretty good. And I said, sure, send it to me. That way I can illustrate it and use that to go ahead and take a look at the engine in our 67 Corvette and see how it's performing. Now, of course, it came in this nice hard case here. Like I said, I will say that in the past, borescopes were quite expensive. They were not a cheap item to have in your toolbox, but now they're very reasonable. The price points come down quite a bit, so they're not bad to keep around. So you can see this is a pretty simple unit, nice handheld device with a long cable here. It also has the thumb wheel so that you can actually articulate your light to get that in there. It's got a couple of nice attachments in here. One of these is going to be, there's a magnet attachment, a hook, and there's also, I think, gosh, I can't remember. Let me look real quick here. There's a hook, a magnet. If I can get the cap off of this, an extension. There we go. There's our hook right there to hook the things that are stuck in there. There is a loop. I guess you can use that to pull things out as well. And there's also a mirror that will allow you to see at different angles if you're stuck. This actually might be helpful in the cylinder walls. I think this is just an extension, but I haven't seen yet quite what that does or way to protect it. But good piece of equipment, not bad shape. It's the first time I've actually kind of looked at it. I have run the functions on it a little bit just to see how it does. It does come with a pretty basic owner's manual, user's manual. This is a KBA01 unit here. Your safety and maintenance, your battery description, your product overview, how these work here. It does have a nice SD card, your reset buttoning, your charging port, explanation of all your symbols here, image preview, photo taking, stuff like that, zoom in, zoom out. So it's not really bad. Pretty simple power on and off, charging method, your SD card, camera rotation, high temperature protection, switching from photos to recording videos, setting that video resolution, image resolution, audio function, language, date tag, time setting, auto power off, screen brightness, format, and reset. So it's really not bad. And of course I do like that removable card, so you can go ahead and take this out, the mini SD, and put that in your computer and see what you have captured your images. And actually does have 4 camera accessories: the hook, the magnet, side mirror, lens protection ring. Okay, that's a lens protection ring. Okay, so yeah, those are actually nice little features, extras to have here. So what we're gonna do real quick, I'm gonna go ahead, let me move this out of the way here, and let's set up in a good spot so you guys can see. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Borescope cylinder number 1, so that we can see how she looks after all these years of being dormant. Trying to get this a little bit closer. Hang on, let me find the right spot so I don't damage my fiberglass inner fenders. Alright. Okay. I think that's gonna give you a pretty good view right there. I like the setup. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and just start with number 1, right? Get that spark plug out of there. There we go. Now in these big blocks, they use the 13/16 size spark plug versus the 5/8. So you see there's our plug. Actually, last time I ran this, I'd put new plugs in it, so it looks pretty good right now. Let's go ahead and grab our tool, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn this on here, and our menu comes up, and you can see there we've got pretty good resolution off the top. I do like this oversized screen on this. I think that's very handy. So we've got our ability to maneuver this, and like I said, we can take our thumb wheel here and we can turn this down, and we can turn this back up. So this is actually pretty cool to be able to have the ability for a borescope, and this is a really nice price point on this unit. I believe this is under $100, so this is not a bad piece of equipment to attach into your add to your toolbox. So let's go ahead, and we're just going to go straight right now. And what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab this, get down into our cylinder area here, watching out for my voltage regulator. And you can see there's a very nice clear shot of our spark plug hole. And if I turn that, you can see I can get kind of a different angle on it. And I also can do this, which increases my zoom feature, and I go back out to normal. And I think this, yeah, that one reverses my image from straight up to upside down. So I'm just going to go straight in here, and you see my threads are really clean. And there is the inside of our engine. Now there's our valves at the top right there. The girls look pretty good, although that one there, that's more or less just the way I have it on the run cycle right now. So that valve's a little bit down. I will check that one. But I can also do this. I can go down from this perspective, I think. Let me go in a little bit more. There we go. So you can see I can get a really good shot of my cylinder wall there. I can zoom in and see what's going on. Of course, it's dry. Like I said, it's been sitting for several years now. There's the top of my valve. Actually looks pretty nice. Let's go down here, see if we can get. And of course, before I start cranking on this, we're gonna go ahead and do some Marvel Mist Roll in here. There's my nice 11-1 pistons in here with my dome. And let's see if I turn this. There we go. I can turn it another way. Let me get my bearing right here. Where am I at? Okay. There we go. Okay. I can make all kinds of jokes right now about this inability to get in there. There we go. Okay. All right. Alright. Somehow I got that there. I don't know how I did that. Okay. There we go. Alright. Very nice. Okay, so as you can see there, I can get a pretty good shot of my cylinder and the cross hatching. I can turn this a little bit. Everything looks good. It's a little bit dry from sitting for several years, but it's definitely not in bad shape. Like I said, I'm going to use a little Marvel Mist Oil in there to coat that before I start turning this, cranking over at my hand, and see how she behaves. I do like, though, this ability. The screen resolution is good on this. Probably if I had any recommendations to make, it would be if they had a clamp to be able to hold this in place, you know, that would be nice. So I definitely do like the ability to look. There we go. That's a really nice shot right there. In fact, what I'll do is I'll go ahead, that diminishes the light, and then what I'll do here is I'll take a picture. Let's see here. There we go. Got a picture, and I can go a little bit further out. Take another picture, and then I think I can go to this mode here, and there we go. I can start recording, which is really nice too. So I can go back and take a look at my video later on and see what it is I see here. Yeah, there's my walls right there. Of course, inside the cylinder is a little bit tight. Not that tight because it's a big block Chevy. Again, there's another joke in there somewhere, but inappropriate for sure. But yeah, this is not a bad piece of equipment. And then I stopped right there. There we go. I go back to my other mode, and there's my video, and there's my current view right there. All right, perfect. Okay, so we have something to work with here on our big block here. We'll be able to use this to inspect the rest of our cylinders, which I will do at a later date. For right now, we're just going to do this one in the interest of brevity, so I'm not talking to you for 45 minutes to an hour. And so we're going to have to go ahead, check our cylinders, go ahead and add some of that lovely Marvel Mystery Oil. And the truth is, I know that all the rest of my cylinders are going to look like this number one, just because I know this car has been with me for 23 years now, so it's been a while. He's my buddy. So yeah, once we do that, we go ahead and turn this thing over by hand several times. I will hook the starter back up to it. I will probably change our battery cables just because I'd rather have fresh electrical components in here. I'm not in the mood to burn this car down to the ground. And see if it cranks. And if it cranks, obviously my carburetors are going to need to be rebuilt. They have been sitting for a while, I would imagine. At the very least, I might need to put a gasket kit on them. My transistorized ignition, which is particular to this 435 horse 427 Corvettes, should be okay. I'm going to go ahead and change the antifreeze in this, obviously change the oil. I need to see if I can find an original oil filter canister element, because this still has the original canister on it. It's never been changed. And I think that's going to be it. We'll go ahead and fire it up, see if we can get the God of Thunder to bang his hammer for us for a little while, and see how that works out. So that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. And I'll be back next week with some more for you. But like I said, if you're looking for a good piece of equipment to add to your toolbox, you can't go wrong with that Kaiweets Borescope device. Will help you bring some of these cars back from the brink. I'll put a link in the description below so that you can see where I got that from, and then you can go from there. For $100, under $100, you can't beat it. And the truth is, even if you're not using it on cars, you probably use it on plumbing and all kinds of stuff around the house, if you live in an older home like I do. So it's probably paid for itself several times over after a few times of use. So thanks for watching the end, guys, and I will catch up with you next time. We'll see you then.